Hello children, I'm back with another educational video, and in today's video we will be doing a poem from your Beehive textbook, and the name of the poem is The Snake Trying, written by W. Ross. Now before we start with the explanation of the poem, let us just know W. Ross a little better. William Wrightson Eustace Ross was born on 14th June 1894. W. Ross grew up in Pembroke, Ontario, and later attended the University of Toronto, where he earned his degree in geophysics. After completing his degree, Ross served in the Canadian military with the Canadian Expeditionary Force Signal Corps during World War I. Ross's passion for the natural world is evident in his poetry, as it focuses on Canada's physical environment. He published only 2 recollections during his lifetime, namely laconics and sonnets. For Ross, the use of complex language had a distancing effect. He remedied this in his own work through the use of simple diction and syntax, both hallmarks of Imagist poetry. He was called the first modern Canadian poet. He died on August 26, 1966. Now, before we start with the explanation of the poem, let me just ask you a question. What is the first word that comes to your mind when you see a snake? I'm sure words like dangerous, venomous, fatal, etc. are coming to your mind right now. We get scared and we literally get paralyzed due to fear caused by it. Am I right, children? Yes. But here in this poem, The Snake Trying, we find the poet W. Ross trying to inculcate a feeling of sympathy in us for the snakes. He tries to make us aware that all snakes are not dangerous or poisonous, and they do not harm the humans if we humans don't harm them. He's trying to change our idea, our perception about snakes. So, let us see what he has to say about the snakes. The snake trying to escape the pursuing stick with sudden curvings of thin long body. How beautiful and graceful are his shapes. In the very first stanza, we find the poet describing the physical appearance of the snake. He's describing it as beautiful, graceful. And so, we can say that the snake who's trying to escape from a human being who is chasing it with a stick, as you can see it in the image, almost charmed the poet. He charmed the poet by its beautiful curves, twists, swirls. As he moves, he curves, he twists, he swirls his long body. And this movement of the snake mesmerized the poet. He glides through the waterway from the stroke. Oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. Small and green, he is harmless even to children. So, The poet here describes how the snake is treated by the other humans. He's saying that the innocent animal is simply trying to save itself from the stroke of the humans by making its way through towards the water body. The poet urges us not to hurt the snake and let it go unhurt into the reeds. What are the reeds? Reeds are the thin, long plants which usually grows near the water bodies. The poet pleads to all his readers not to harm this beautiful animal, which is harmless even to small children. The last line proves that the snake will not do us any harm if we do not harm them. So, if it doesn't see any danger from us, it will never harm us. So, what should we do? We should let it go without hurting it. Along the sand, he lay until unobserved and chased away. And now he vanishes in the ripples among the green slime reeds. So, the third stanza, the poet tries to say that the green snake was lying along the sand until it was observed, it was noticed by a human being, by someone. And that person or that human being started chasing it, started following it with a stick. And what was the snake trying to do? The snake was trying to save itself from the stroke of the stick. And he made his way towards the water body. And where does he vanishes? The snake slithered fast and hid itself among the green slimy reeds, among the marshy plants. And how did it do? How do you think the snake did this? We all know that snakes have a tendency of camouflaging. So, it camouflaged with the bushes. And so, it saved itself from the harmful humans. With this, we complete the explanation of the chapter of this poem. Now let us see the theme. The poem sketches the species of snake as a victim who needs to be treated in a kind and sympathetic manner. He informs the readers that the snakes cause no harm to any humans, so they should also not harm the snakes. The poet tries to convince us to allow the snakes to escape to a safe place as it is harmless. Not all snakes are venomous, so we should stop cruel practice against such animals, and we should all understand that they are a part of our ecological system, so we should protect them. Thus, the poem opposes the conception or idea people generally believe in about the snake. about the snakes. So let us see the poetic devices that has been used in the poem. So the first thing that we notice is that the poem is written in free verse. That means there is no rhyme scheme. Then imagery. What is an imagery? Use of figurative language to represent objects and things in such a way that it appeals to our physical sense and creates images. So here he glides through the water away from the straw. This particular line literally brings the image of the snake gliding in the water. So it appeals to our physical senses, and it creates an image in front of our eyes of the snake, which is gliding through the water, trying to save itself from the stroke of the human beings. Next poetic device that we found in the poem is alliteration. That is, the repetition of the same consonant sound in a sentence or phrase. Example, he is harmless. So the H sound is repeated. Next, we find transferred epithet. Now what is a transferred epithet? An adjective that qualifies a noun other than the person and the thing it is actually describing. So let us take the example of the transferred epithet that we find in this poem, and let us understand what exactly is transferred epithet. For example, pursuing stick. Now, the adjective pursuing is used with the stick, but a stick can't be pursuing, right? A stick needs to be pursued. It needs to be moved by a human being. So, what does it actually mean? It means that someone is chasing the snake with the stick. So, pursuing here actually means a person who is chasing the snake with the stick. So, with this, we complete the explanation of the poem. Thank you so much. Stay home and stay safe.